One of the best parts of working with AI and with tools for social media is repurposing. And repurposing and taking those content messages you have, that video you have, that audio message, and turning them into a lot of different other ways of connecting with people. That is where it sparkles. And in this video, we're going to show you how to do that and how you can make this work, how all can come together, because we're doing this on a regular basis with stark raving entrepreneurs. We're going to make it happen. Who is we? Well, I'm Terry Brock, and I'm joined by my co-founder and fiancée, Gina Carr. Gina, what do you think of this repurposing thing as far as just a general idea? Why would we want to do that?
Well, I've always believed that it's smart to save time when you can, and to get more out of what you put into something. So this is all an issue of leverage. So we create something once and we use it over and again in different ways. So I think repurposing is a beautiful thing. It's almost as beautiful as recurring revenue, but recurring revenue still has a slight edge.
I have to agree with you once again there. I think that recurring revenue is a good thing, but guess what? Repurposing this can lead to getting more recurring revenue, because ultimately what it is, you're creating content. You're creating content that your target market watches. You solve their problem. And they say, oh my, I like what she did. I like what he does in his videos. And I saw that Instagram he had. That was really good. Oh, and the thing over on LinkedIn and that thing over there on X, formerly Twitter, put it in there. That was really good. Well, we want to make that a little bit easier for you. There's some tools out there that can help you. And we're going to share some of those with you. This is just us here. We're going to be talking to you, showing you how to do this, how to put it all together. We're using Zoom right now to put this together. In case you're wondering, what is it? We're using Zoom. We're also going to be using Keynote, using our Mac, Keynote, kind of like PowerPoint. So one of the things we want to do is share our screen with you and let you see what's going on, how it works, and all that. Now we've got Keynote running in the background, and we're going to let you see what's happening here as we go through this right now. And Gina, I want to check with you, make sure, is everything coming through like it should?
All looks good.
Good. See, and by the way, when you're creating your videos, you want to make sure you got someone that's helping you on this, putting it together. Gina's the big help for me. So we're going to talk about some tools tonight that you can use this morning, this afternoon, whatever time you're catching it. You're going to see, of course, ChatGPT, but Perplexity a little bit. Castmagic, one of the great wonders out there that does so much for us. And we do it in so many different ways, but also some other little tools that are out there. We're going to look at those, and one called Taja. Write that one down, Taja. That's at taja.ai. It is a fabulous little tool that gives you the ability to create your description for your video, create your keywords, create clips of them, all that kind of thing. Really nice in what it does. So we're going to talk about that amongst other things. But all of these little tools are great. And after a while, it can get to be a little bit overwhelming. As we're putting it together, we're wondering, what do we do with this? How do we use this one, or do we use that one? Or what do we do? Hey, all we want to do is just create some videos. Well, sometimes it's a fight. You know what you're doing. You're fighting about it. Well, do we do this? Do we do that? I kind of tend to be more pragmatic. Let's go with what works. And we're finding some tools that really help us to pragmatically get the job done a lot better and a lot faster. It also can help relieve that frustration. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Frustrated from creating the content, it didn't work out, or the technology didn't work right, or there's all kinds of other things going on. Well, we're going to show you how to cut through that like a knife through warm butter tonight. You're going to be able to do that. You don't have to be overwhelmed. And we all know what that's like. You look at it and you're going, I just can't handle it anymore. This is it. It's over. And then you get isolated. Well, here's a quote I think is really good from our old buddy Clay Shirky, who said, the problem is not information overload. The problem is filter failure. We've got to focus on where we should be filtering, what we should be looking at, and importantly, what we shouldn't. We're going to look tonight at how AI is being used for podcasters and for YouTubers. If you're one of those, you're going to be able to do that today, tonight, this afternoon, whenever it might be. You're going to do just fine. But before we get into that, something we want to give, a lot of people have really been raving about this, our AItoolsforbiz.com. This is a free program for you. It's something you get. There's no charge at all. It's just a gift from us showing you different tools that are out there, including ChatGPT, Canva, Lexicon Art, OpenAI, and many others. So take a look at that, see what it's like and how you can do it. And here's our QR code, so you can tap in on that if you want to get hold of that. No charge again to you. I think you'll find a lot of benefit from that. Well, let's start with ChatGPT. It's the core program with AI today. It's the one that we use more than any other, and it gives us the ability to work a lot in many different ways. When we look at what it'll do, it helps with a lot of different things. And Gina, I want to get your feeling on this. I'm looking at 4 things here. We've zoomed in on this, 4 features that are there. Tell us a little bit about that first one there, the picture there with DALL-E. What in the world is that, and how can we use that thing?
Well, ChatGPT can create some amazing pictures that you can use in your marketing, in your repurposing, in creation of presentations. And so it's just really fantastic. It's very powerful. You need to learn how to prompt it properly, but you learn that by trial and error. You try a few things and you make it better. And the images can be very compelling.
And that's a good thing to try because it really gives you the ability to do a lot with pictures and creating them. I'm amazed at what we can do with that. Another one on there is search, which means you find it on the web. It's something they didn't have on earlier versions of ChatGPT, but now you can find real-time information. What time is it here? What's going on with the news over there? Or what is the latest version of this website? That's real nice. I particularly like Reason. Gina, you have heard me talk about that a lot, and I know you've used it as well. Tell us a little bit about what Reason is and how you use that.
Well, Reason is great for, well, having an argument or discussion with a very wise person that is not going to have emotions about you having a different opinion or continuing to ask it, but why, but why, but why? So
yeah, infuriating thing like, yeah, but what about the kind of questions I like to ask all the time, right?
Yeah, so let's just say maybe that you have a good friend or a spouse or partner, business partner, or something like that, that is not so excited about your frequent questions. And so now you can go to a tool like ChatGPT and use the reasoning function to ask all the questions you want to your heart's content. And then you're fully equipped to discuss pros and cons of different points of view. It's really an amazing and wonderful, powerful tool.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Gina. I found it real helpful when you've got a decision to make and you're thinking, okay, should I go with plan A or plan B? Which one's going to be best? ChatGPT can help you on that by thinking through the various options. You want to give it the information to say, okay, I'm looking at a decision between A and B. If I go with A, here are the pros and here are the cons. If I go with B, here are the pros and here are the cons. And you detail that for ChatGPT, then it can come in there. It can say, all right, this is what you can do. What about this? And help you to make a better decision. That's just one of those components on that I particularly like. Any other thing you want to say about that Reason thingy?
Well, I think it's just one of the most powerful tools, and it will often bring up points that you had not considered as a pro or a con, especially if you get into this dialogue with it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Well, another little tool that's really good. And let's take a look at some others here. The last one here they have on this, when you bring this up. And by the way I brought all this up, you'll notice up here, there is a slash. You press the slash key and it brings up all of those. So you can then just go down there and click on the option you want. You'll notice there's Canvas. Now we had a video on this just recently where it gives you the ability to collaborate with others so that others can take a look at this. You'll be able to write on something. It's great for writing to say, let's change that one paragraph rather than the whole thing. Or let's write some code. Does this work? Let's try and just see if this segment of the code works. I don't do a lot of coding, but this is a great little tool to have to get a lot done. And it's available there. Now, another thing you can do is advanced voice. This is powerful within ChatGPT. What it does is gives you a conversation that is pretty amazing. I'm going to show you a video here. We had on a recent video to show that, but some people didn't get a chance to see it. So we want to share this with you. I'm on my smartphone, and this is the conversation that we had. Righty, now we are here on my smartphone. As you can see, it's showing me the 69-degree temperature, Dr. Phillips here in the Orlando area. And what I want to do is go into ChatGPT so that I can use some of the features there. And you'll see when it comes in here, it shows me, can I help you? We're going to use that. And what I'd like to do is to have it help me with some books that are possible and find out about those books and what we can do with it. and if it can help me to understand. So I'm going to tap on the button on the lower right side there in the position there right above the keyboard, and we'll show you what we're going to do from there. Tap that, and now we go into ChatGPT. I'm going to turn on my camera and say, well, hello there, ChatGPT. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you. How can I help you today?
Well, I have a question. I've got a couple of books here, and I want you to tell me about the books. The first one here is in a nice binding like this, and it's called Human Action by Ludwig von Mises. It's a pretty famous book in a certain field. Tell me about that book.
Human Action by Ludwig von Mises is a foundational work in the field of Austrian economics. It explores praxeology, the study of human decision-making. The book covers topics like the nature of human choice, the workings of a market economy, and the role of government intervention. It's a significant text for understanding economic theory from a libertarian perspective.
Very good. Thank you. Now, here's another one. It's a different kind of book. Tell me, what is this one, and who is the author of this?
That book is A World Restored by Henry Kissinger. It examines the efforts of European statesmen, particularly Metternich and Castlereagh, to restore stability in Europe after the Napoleonic Wars. Kissinger explores the balance of power and diplomacy during that period, which is relevant to understanding international relations and diplomacy.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. Well, can you give me a 5-paragraph summary of the main points in that book?
Absolutely. In A World Restored, Henry Kissinger analyzes the efforts of Metternich and Castlereagh to re-establish stability in Europe after the Napoleonic Wars. He highlights how they aimed to create a balance of power, preventing any one nation from dominating Europe again. The book delves into their diplomatic strategies, such as forming alliances and managing the complexities of post-war negotiations. Kissinger also discusses the challenges they faced in maintaining peace and how their efforts laid the groundwork for modern diplomacy. Finally, he reflects on the enduring relevance of their work in understanding international relations.
Very helpful. Okay, now I've got another book here that I don't know if you've heard of it yet, but tell me what this book is and who's the author, by the way.
That book is The 2-Hour Cocktail Party by Nick Gray. It offers practical advice on how to host small gatherings to build meaningful relationships. The book emphasizes simple, effective tips for creating engaging and memorable events, aimed at helping people connect in a more personal way. Nick Gray shares step-by-step instructions, making it easy for anyone to host successful gatherings.
Thank you very much for your help. I certainly appreciate it.
Gina, that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
You're very welcome.
It really is. And just thinking about our audience and the constant need to read books to grow personally and to gain business skills and such. And then certainly a lot of our audience spends time interviewing people. And so they're going to interview someone. Well, you can read a whole book, or you can get a summary. You can ask it to dig down more deeply into certain topics that are mentioned in the summary. And so I think that that's very powerful.
Yeah, it is. And just think about that. For those of you watching this, we're able to hold up different kinds of books and different topics, different areas, and it was able to tell us about that. So now you can hold up that book, and of course you can type it in as well. But this way you get access to a wealth of information. Whenever you need it, you're able to get it. I'm thinking we're in a good time in history right now, and this advanced voice is something you want to look into on ChatGPT.
One of the most powerful parts of this is that you can use it as you're driving or as you're walking around or doing other things that you're not able to do as much if you're trying to type or if you are needing to read. So I've heard of several people talking about that they're using this as they're driving to appointments to get more details about a client or a prospect that they're calling or that sort of thing. So I think that this is going to revolutionize the way that we do business as content entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, Gina, one of the things I'm thinking about and we're doing right now is you think about the time you spend listening to, say, the news. Really, okay, you need to be up to date, but do you need to know about the latest shenanigans they're doing in Washington or London or Tokyo or Canberra or wherever it might be? And they're doing that. Is that really going to matter a year from now to you, 5 years from now? Why not instead
get one of the best books and have ChatGPT give you a condensation of that, give you the paragraphs. And I usually like to do 50 to 100 paragraphs. So I get a good balance of what the book is. And in a few minutes, I've listened to it, my own audio book, customized. This gives you the ability to get a lot done. And I think it's just pretty flat out amazing. Gina, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll just add to that when you're hearing it, it's registering in a different part of the brain. As we know, some people are more visual oriented, some are more auditory. And so I've become more strong auditory over the years. And so I really love the fact that I can listen to it. And then even better, it's going to be available in my ChatGPT in text, so I can read it either as it's coming in or I can read it later. So it's the best of all options.
Yeah, it definitely is. Let's go back sharing our screen, take a look at some of the other features that we have here. Applications for your business in this are going to be pretty enormous as we look at the capabilities with ChatGPT. It can help you in your marketing, making sure that you're able to find out more of what your target market wants. ChatGPT will know that, and that's where that reasoning can come in. Communication, being able to tailor your message to the right audience in the right way. And in training. You saw what we had, the conversation with me and ChatGPT talking about a book. It can be the same thing on learning how to do certain tasks, how to make sure that certain things are working and are operating as they should. ChatGPT can help in that in a number of different ways. And I think that gives us some capabilities that are nothing short of amazing. Well, now what we want to do is we want to go into another little tool that I think is pretty nice, Castmagic. Gina, you and I have worked with that a lot. I like it, as they say here, it can turn audio into content like magic. It gives you the ability to do some amazing things. And some of those we want to just even talk about right here. As you know, Gina, it gives you the ability to create titles. It gives you several title suggestions for a book. You take the interview that say you had on YouTube last time with special guest. You can take that interview and get 10 titles. You can get an introduction. It will give you the biographies of the people there based on what it has seen. It can give you the details for many different parts of it. It can create a LinkedIn message for you. It can create an X message for you, a thread in that. That's X, formerly Twitter. It can also translate into other languages. I regularly ask for a Spanish summary of what was there. So I get those who are speaking Spanish and me learning to speak that to get a lot more done. That Castmagic is a powerful tool. And Gina, I have found that it really gives us the ability to get a lot more done in a lot less time.
Well, it's fantastic. For years, we've been repurposing our own content. We've had a marketing agency where we've worked with others to help them repurpose their content. So they've created a longer form video or they've created a substantive article. And in the past, we needed people to break out tweets and break out create possible headlines and figure out what are the keywords that are being used here. Well, now we have the amazing assistance of a brilliant virtual assistant in our tool, Castmagic, that's going to come up with all that, including a summary and a summary of a summary and whatever it is that you need. That's additional content that you can repurpose. The only thing it doesn't create, as far as I know, I don't think it creates nice images. I think it does create videos, certain types of videos, but it's just amazing what you can do to create text repurposing from an audio or a video.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we're seeing more and more of that. And as we see what's happening with this, the whole thing of repurposing is important because you're going to be able to take that content you create and now get more exposure and go much farther than ever before. And here's Castmagic. This is Castmagic itself. And you'll notice what I put here is you'll see a picture of me with a goofy look on my face. Holy Toledo, what is that? You can see that. But what these are clips. What we were able to do is to go into Castmagic, take a particular video that we had and be able to upload that to Castmagic and then have it go through and create videos based on what we carve out of the transcript. Let me show you how we did that. Look at this. Gina, I think this is amazing. We went in there into the transcript at a certain time point where I said, you're doing things that only you can do and use your creativity in a way, blah, 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 blah. I could make this an audiogram, which would be just the words appearing on the screen and you hear my voice. It could be an image where it has just one image there on the screen always, or captions, which I tend to like. The captions give us a little bit more capability of what we're going to do. And here's it is zooming in a little bit more. So we take that, I just highlight that with my mouse, and it comes up and gives me the ability to do that. Look at this. You're doing things that only you can do, and use your creativity in a way that is going to help others benefit from it. There's a lot of people that are doing this in many different ways. For instance, I'm going to pause it right there in the middle of this, kind of just as we go through this. This is B-roll that I selected to bring in there. So it brings in a B-roll for me using the right tools. I'm using a tool here that gives me that ability called Taja, and it gives me that ability to bring these things in, let it see on the screen what it's going to look like, which is really, really handy. So this is something we can do. The Castmagic gives you a lot of benefits. First of all, it's easy to use. Secondly, it's got powerful features where you can create LinkedIn documents, LinkedIn posts. You can create X posts that you'll put in there, Instagram, blogs, and more, and create it all automatically, which is really handy. It also has the studio features that I showed you for repurposing, bringing those in quickly. Also, iOS recording is real nice. It lets you, I have idea processing. I like to use it for unique book summaries. When I read a book, I'll highlight certain portions of it, then go back and create a recording, looking at the summaries, reading that in there. Now I've got an audio book of what I think is the best of that. And you can rapidly create clips. Pretty amazing when you look at the features that it has. And start thinking about those YouTube shorts. They give you a lot of ability for doing that and getting a whole lot done. Now, wait a minute, let me come back here to my Castmagic. I'm gonna go back through this again. Here, hold on. This is just us here. I want to show you on there. We have that. Gina, you've seen all these before. We've talked about them a lot. And I'd be interested in what your thoughts are on Castmagic from what you've heard and the kind of work and experience you've had with it.
Well, one of the ways I've been using Castmagic is using it on the phone, so the iOS mobile option. And I've been using it when I'm on a phone call with someone. Because one of the frustrations that I have when someone prefers to do a phone call instead of a Zoom that I can record is that I don't have a recording of the phone call. Well, I find it very helpful to have a recording. I'm not going to broadcast it. This is just something that I need for my notes and something that I want to know. Now, there may be some legal requirements that if you're recording someone, you need to let them know, and that's going to vary from state to state. But in my case, I'm just using it again for my own personal notes. It's not for anything legal or marketing or that I'm going to share with anybody else. It's just for me. I want to know what was said in that meeting. Similarly, when I'm in a session and someone is, let's say I'm in a webinar, and again, I'm not able to bring in one of my recording devices, and I may have to be, they may say, well, we'll send you the recording at some point in time. Well, I may want the recording sooner. And it's not exactly a recording, it's the recording of the voice. So I'm not able to see the slides, but I am able to hear the voice, and I am able to immediately get a summary of it and a transcript and those sorts of things. So I'm finding that very helpful.
I think you raised some good points. And by the way, I had not heard you say that before. I think it's a brilliant idea. And think about what you can do. Doing it legally, we're in the state of Florida. And in the state of Florida, if you have a conversation, you are legally required to let both parties know, all parties know that it is being recorded. And that's why you hear the little message of that. And most people will say yes. And so if they say, oh, no, we don't want you to do that, well, then you don't have to record their side of the conversation. You're mainly doing it for yourself. And I think that's a good way to do it, to remember what was it we were going to do? Was he going to do that, or I going to do that? So I could just say, well, Mark, you said you're going to do this, this, and this, and I'm going to do that. Is that correct? And then it would be quiet because I just hear Mark saying it myself. But I think that kind of thing could be very good. There's a lot of benefits in that. Well, let's go back here to the screen, sharing again. This is kind of fun, just going back and forth to do this and sharing the screen to see what's going on and how we can use this as we look at Castmagic has some amazing features, and another tool that is very good for this is Perplexity. We encourage you to look at Perplexity and what it can do. because it gives you an additional tool to use when ChatGPT might not get the job done as much as you want it. It gives you the ability to do a lot. You can use Taja, this is a program that we use, to talk about what's available. I'm not going to go through all of this right now, but it gives you the ability to look at that. We want to mention Perplexity as a great tool that can be used in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways that you can use it particularly is right here. This, Gina, you told me to bring this up for the video, and I got to say, you were right. This is important. When you're in Perplexity, you can click on a button here for focus. You'll see where it says ask anything and then focus. And when you bring that up, it brings up 6 real key ways that it's looking at what you're doing. In the upper left corner, you'll see web. That just searches across the web. Good, giving you real-time information. Here's what's going on. Slide over there to the right, you'll see academic. This is looking at academic journals, peer-reviewed, double-blind testing, that scientific method thingy that's really helpful. If you're going to write a PhD dissertation, hey, you're going to want to use that. So that's good. Or if you're speaking to people who are oriented that way and they want to know not just a bunch of fluff, they want the real thing, you can get it. Slide over one more to the right and you'll see math. Math is real good because it helps you solve the equations. If you need some hardcore data for scientists or analysts on something, really, really nice. Now, one that we use a lot, Gina, you know about this one. The writing down there in the lower left is one we use regularly. I'm using it in my writing. I think you're using it in yours. Tell us a little bit about your feelings on writing.
Well, I love the fact that I can write according to whatever parameters I'm looking for. Let's say that I'm writing for an 8th grade level. I want the sentences to be short. I don't want to use complex words. I want it to be very easily understood. And I can tell it to add humor or add a little less humor, add just a little bit of humor. I generally like just a little bit of humor. And I want it to write in my style, which is not very wordy. I would say I'm more on the, what is the term for someone who succinct stage of writing?
Exactly. Succinct. Very cogent. I like that. That is good. That's important. And then, of course, video looks over at YouTube, finds out, okay, what are they saying on YouTube about this topic? But social, I think, is one very valuable tool for marketers because it gives you the ability to find out what people are really saying on platforms like Reddit, on Facebook, on X, on other areas. What are they really saying? Gina, that's something you have talked about before, particularly on the Reddit side. What do you see are some of the values of using social for a focus when you're looking for marketing information?
Well, you can really dig deep, and you can dig deep according to what the platform that you're searching for. If you know that your prospects, your potential customers, are spending a lot of time on Facebook, then you would want to narrow your search to Facebook. Let's go to Reddit. Reddit, there are deep discussions about various topics and nuances within topics. And I think they call them subreddits. And so you can really just keep going into layer after layer, depending on the topic that you're interested in, so that you can really understand your client's needs, desires, wants, and problems, and that you can address it with your services or your products to help them solve their problems.
Yeah, solving those problems is the real key. And so all of these tools we're showing you, these are tools that can help you as a marketer, as a content creator, as a content entrepreneur to learn how you can address those needs better all the time. Now, there's another tool we want to share with you before we close out here. This is good. You're going to look at this and go, oh my goodness. It is one that gives you the ability to see a lot of different capabilities in many different ways. Say, okay, let's find out what's going on in areas and create lots of different kinds of content. It's called Taja, pronounced Taja. Taja.ai is where you find it. And what it does, it automates the routine tasks of this. It also generates SEO optimized titles, descriptions, and tags, going out to thousands, hundreds of thousands of sites to find out what is the best words for you to use. That is powerful. It also creates AI-generated thumbnails to increase the click-through rates. That's what we want. We want people clicking on it, and it helps to create a thumbnail for you. Now, the thumbnails are okay right now, not great. They're working on it, but it's good to have something, but it's, I think, going to be getting better all the time as we move along and move forward on that. Also, we have content repurposing here, which transforms the long form videos into shorter clips. This is something that is amazing. We have been able to take some of our longer form videos and be able to put those into a format that people can see and use in a really nice way. I think by using that, it's going to give us the capability to do some amazing features with content creation and getting it out to the audience. And particularly speaking of audience, the audience engagement, it provides insights and suggestions that enhance the viewer interaction and retention. People like it more when they see that. In addition to that, it gives us real-time analytics, offers performance metrics and trend analysis, and content planning. This is important, helps us to see what's going on. And I particularly like this one, Gina. It analyzes trends and audience preferences to suggest top topics for new videos. One of the things we know that content creators are always searching for is, what do I talk about this time? What should I mention? It goes in there. Taja goes in there and says, here's what other sites like yours are looking at and producing and getting good results from. That is pretty amazing. From a marketing point of view, Gina, I'm thinking that's pretty amazing. What do you think?
Well, I think it's wonderful, and these can be used on YouTube for the YouTube Shorts, which is absolutely one of the most powerful tools that are out there right now for video. LinkedIn video is also getting much more popular because LinkedIn, for the mobile version, has added an option for videos down at the bottom. It's on everybody's LinkedIn mobile version now, and LinkedIn has started showing a lot more videos through the feed. But in particular, let's go back to YouTube. I can think of several creators that I have found through YouTube Shorts, either through my laptop, but mostly through my mobile version. In fact, I can think of a creator that I really like. I am subscribed, and I think I've spent even a little bit of money with her. I don't think I've ever seen a long form video from her, but I see shorts from her almost every day. And so this marketing does work well.
It does. And so that's the whole key. You start with one kind of content and then you lead it to others. People start seeing you in several different places. This is the way to do it. What you do is you're creating your content. For instance, on YouTube, you might have an interview with special guest, and she was really good. I mean, she was giving great information all the way through the video. And so you want to go back and cut that up into different pieces. These tools can help you do that much easier than ever before, and do it with analysis of what are people looking for that are in similar audiences to yours. This is where it sparkles. This is where entrepreneurs who are really on the ball and smart will jump on this, learn how to use it, and get moving ahead. And so let's take a look at what it can do right now as we see what is available. As a marketer to marketer, I want you to know there's a lot of really good things you can do with this that are just downright outstanding when you take a look at the capabilities that it gives to you. Let's bounce over here. And we're looking at Taja, and here's a video clip that we had. You notice that Gina's over there. We were talking about consistency over perfection, and she had her comments here. This is what it did with the short. It put it in there really nicely. But look at all this, what Taja did. It gave us the ability to have YouTube's secret, post more, worry less, shorts. Here are the hashtags it developed. Here are the keywords that it developed. Notice over here on the bottom left, you have edit and save. You can edit this a little bit to be able to cut out some portions of it you don't want. You can change the highlight. For instance, we're using a green for emphasis words. You can change that to others and do a lot of nice things with that. And then also notice up here in the upper right corner, publish and schedule. This is jaw-dropping amazing. I can click that button, publish. It will take what we've got right here and send it out to our YouTube channel, because I've set it up, Facebook, over to Instagram, send it over to LinkedIn, TikTok, different places, and who knows what they'll have in the future, because it'll probably change. They'll be able to use this. You can do that, or even better, look at this, right next door to publish, schedule. So you could say, hey, I don't want this one going out right now. I do want to put it out next week on Thursday at around 3 o'clock, because that's a good time for us, or whatever it might be. This gives you the ability to do it, and it has a content calendar built into it, so you can keep up with it. I think they have done a marvelous job with this and have done some amazing things. So as we kind of bring this to a close, I want to make sure that you know AI is a must-have part of your ongoing learning right now. This is something you have to do. Gina, you and I embrace that regularly, knowing that we want to keep learning, we want to keep growing. And so we're encouraging those of you listening to this, embrace your AI future. Look at what's available for it. Check us out at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, and we've got something for you. We've got a tool called AItoolsforbiz.com. Those of you catching this on audio will notice that. All lowercase, AI tools, the number 4, biz.com, where we cover tools like ChatGPT, yes, Canva, DALL-E 3, Udly, a speech coach that can help you get better, Stable Fusion for video, OpenAI, which gives us ChatGPT and DALL-E 3, along with several other products, and Lexica Art. Plus, what we're going to do is we're updating this on a regular basis for events that are coming up, learning tools, and workshops, courses that you can get from us on a regular basis. There's the URL. Those of you catching this on video, we've got the QR code there, so you can reach over and grab that pretty easily and see what it's like. It's got some really nice tools for you and some really good capabilities. So as we bring this to a close, there's a lot of capabilities with repurposing, taking it that you have, the content you have, moving it into different places in a wonderful, beautiful way. Gina, what would you say to that person that says, hey, I'm thinking that looks like a good idea. I want to do a little bit more with this repurposing?
Well, don't get overwhelmed as you started out in the presentation talking about people getting overwhelmed and just not knowing what to do. Take one small step, perhaps use one tool that we mentioned today. Do you have text that you want to turn into video? Do you have video that you want to turn into text? Perhaps go back through our video step by step and just watch it until you get to a point where I think I could try that. I think I can implement that. It's called just-in-time learning. And so you're going to replay the video, get to a point where you want to try whatever it was we recommended or try that tool. Of course, we have links to a lot of those tools in our AI Tools for Business, and they'll be in the description down below. Some of them may be affiliate links. We appreciate it when you try our affiliate links, and we have all kinds of goodies down in the description. So take a look down below. But
yes, indeed.
This is a great thing to do. You've created the content. Now you want to amplify it. You want to get it out into the world in a bigger way so that you can have more impact, you can have more influence, and you can create more income.
I like that. That's what it's all about. That's what our Stark Raving Entrepreneurs is all about. Gina, glad to have you with us today, and we appreciate those of you joining us. This is something that's very important. As a content creator, you want to make sure that you're taking your content, creating what people want, and then multiplying that onto different platforms, into different ways of it being presented to them: audio, video, short form, long form, etc. Doing that is going to help you to succeed. I'm Terry Brock, and for Gina Carr and all of us at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, thanks for being here today. We're looking forward to seeing you again.